Hey guys, welcome back. We're taking a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin's obviously had a massive red day. We're down 10% on the day. We are currently at around the 65,000 level. Now, we've already said that Bitcoin was going to hit this area when it was still hovering around this 80k level, this 90k level. The reason for why we've said this was because of the fact that we talked about how the current structure is pushing downward. We're seeing sellers momentum. And if we're not even able to keep up these small support with evident buying that is showing how buyers are optimistic, then realistically, you're going to be looking at a lot more shorts piled on. You're going to be looking at people selling. And when we did see this accumulation over here, we talked about how if the bias is not strong enough, we're going to be seeing going down. So once again, at around this 88,000 level, we've already said it's going to go down to this 70k to 60k level. So 70k to 60k is of course a big range. And the reason for that is because we've seen in the past why it's obviously the accumulation zone. We've seen it happen before. And so it's very important to note this level right now. I do believe that currently we are at the pivotal zone. You can call this the bear market for crypto, which I wouldn't argue against you because we are seeing, massive declines. If you want to talk about this recent structure, we've seen over currently 30 to 33%. So if you want to call it a bear market, of course you can. But for me to decide whether or not going in for the rest of this year, are we going to be stuck in the bear market? It's can we actually withhold this 70k to 60k? So for the past half a month, 1 month, we're seeing selling, but this could be easily reversible. We could easily see buyers coming back in, institutions piling on, and within a matter of a month, we could be seeing Bitcoin back up 100k again. We've seen this in the past before when Bitcoin dropped over here. So when it hit 108k and it took around 2 months to drop to 75k, and then instantly it was brought back up, within 2-3 months, back up to 100k again. So this is something that could be done very easily. But right now we are at an important level. We are at a level where we're now meeting with buyers from the past. And it's up to them to decide whether or not they think that this is a good opportunity again. And so it's why we already said it was going to hit 70k, in which it did, and why we're seeing it still falling despite the fact that it has hit 70k, because the bottom of this support is around the 60k area. And so we're going to very likely be seeing Bitcoin going to this 60k. What we also could potentially see is it breaking out of 60k, but that wouldn't be the final kind of nail in the coffin. That would have to be decided by when we do see it go below 60k, there will be buyers trying to bring it back up. This is the most important area. Are the buyers going to be strong enough where they are able to bring Bitcoin back into not only within the 60k to 70k zone, but actually bring Bitcoin above? It doesn't matter if Bitcoin will still stay around the 70k area for a month or two. It's about whether or not the buyers below the 60k area are confident in not only buying in, but also holding for the long term. And so that's why we have to see whether or not these buyers are going to be there and they are going to be strong. So right now for me, what I'm eyeing up is further room for decline in Bitcoin going towards this 60k area that we talked about. It could obviously be a bit lower. Like we said, don't be kind of struck and be dead set on that. It's 60k final. These whole numbers are very good psychological levels, but it could be 59,722. It could be 58,000. So, but it's give or take around that area. It's about the price action for when we do reach those ends. When we do see 50k, 60k, what are the buyers doing? Are the buyers willing to be buying? Are we seeing accumulation in? Are we seeing positions being built? Or are we seeing that buyers are still sitting on the sideline? You're seeing small inflows of money in, but these are guys who just think it's a discount and want to buy in. They're not worried about building a position. They potentially want a DCA, and then that will be the case. Because if not, if what we see is the Bitcoin price breaks down below 60k, we see small amount of retracement, but not enough buyers to bring us back into the zone, and then we see it kind of show massive sellers coming in, we can very easily see Bitcoin hit 38k, 40k area. So that's what you want to ultimately look out for. Now, the short-term trade, in terms of what I think for Bitcoin, I think, depending on the optimism right now, and we have to mix it with some of the macro news, is that there is potential for range trading between the 60k to 70k. As always, none of this is financial advice, and I'll catch you guys next time.